Okay, we are going to take the time to do a review of a Starlord Diamond 3. And you said this was a close game, which is good because those are the best to review. And, I will say that, like, sometimes, like, when you have close games, to always remember that, no one in a game can play perfectly. No one is going to be free of mistakes. And even if they are, there's still times where you could have a perfect game and you could still lose. Sometimes it just happens. That being said, though, we're going to take a look at this and see what areas you can improve from just from like your perspective.
You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
This is a little dangerous because of the fact that if you wanted to go on like the flank or get this location, get behind them first, I would have just started up here and then just hung out in the back, which is like it's not a terrible idea, right? I think you're checking to see if like they were going to Strange Portal, but if that was the case and you're going to play up this far, just start in like this location instead, so that way you don't have to possibly lose time going around. Because now, like, they're going to engage on your team, and this kind of works out because of the fact that like your team isn't going to fall over like right away, and you get to see the rocket res station, which is super convenient. Um, but yeah, there sometimes in games like these, I will start behind them, and what I've noticed is that the lower the rank that you are, the more aggressive angles you can take at the start because they're not going to pay attention. The higher you climb, the more those aggressive angles are going to be punished the moment that people spot you. So, you can definitely do it in lower elo games. And this is for everybody. You can definitely do that type of strategy in lower elo games. And as you climb higher, you need to be playing closer to your team. But this is fine here. This is Diamond 3. Diamond 3 still technically counts as like lower elo where some of that stuff works. Good kill. Follow up on the shark. Just keep the shark busy. Nice. You're close to your east. You had a lot of really good plays. You got the rocket pick, which was good. You got the Jeff to retreat. Your team kind of like fell apart. But you had good plays. The only thing I'm going to say right now that I'm noticing is that your ability to just like your mechanics of aiming are a bit rough. Now, there's a few things that you can do outside of like just practicing to get that better. And this is for everybody listening. Like you can get a larger like mouse pad so you have more room to work. That's an option. You can mess with your sensitivity settings. You can change out the mouse feet on the bottom of your mouse. For those who don't know, like those actually do need to be changed like once every 6 months because they do wear down. It provides a smoother glide. And you can also use like basic Dawn dish soap, wash your mouse pad every now and then just to make sure there's no resistance. Like there's a lot of things you can do to adjust for your aiming that actually will help. Besides just practice alone. But yeah, outside of like what I've seen you do so far in terms of your positioning has actually been really good about how like you're flanking and off angles and targeting the supports, like all really good. But if you just had the ability to secure a couple more kills there, you would have found it, a couple kills faster. You would have found this a lot easier. Staying alive, which is good. Prioritize that. Then help your team. So I wouldn't have done that just because of the fact that like you only have Penny out there and there's not enough damage with your E to secure it. Uh Starlord's range is actually pretty decent. I still would have tried to just poke from up here because you still have the high ground advantage and you still have cover here in case you need it because you don't have enough people out here to really do anything. Because like, there's the thing, Wolverine, Scarlet Witch, this is all six of them, right? And your team isn't really there. So you're not gonna like execute anybody. I personally would have stayed up there and just poked from range, even poked from like right here, right? You don't have to get in there, and then you could use your E maybe more as like an execute than you could as like a engage tool, especially while you wait for your team. When you're waiting for your team, you want to play a bit more, bit safer. Don't rush things. Even if you lose the point, just lose the point, right? Because now your team is back, but now you're dead, or at least now your Spider-Man is back. Remember, for everyone, like when you aren't sure that you can like defend the point and live, it's sometimes better just to give the point up and just regroup at second point because of the fact that now with everyone dead, now they have the momentum to push forward, and you guys have to like try and make sure not to stagger. Yes, this is really good. This right here. See like this? This you're poking around cover, you're waiting for your team to regroup. You're just building your ult. Good dodge. Staying alive. Ooh. Eh, ballsy. Good target change. It was good. It was a little ballsy when you were first like over on the side. Like right here. This moment had me a little nervous because of the fact that you were crossing a lot of ground. Um, I thought you were just going to immediately pop ult here, but here you get kind of like, oh, you get disabled. Yeah, you get your movement disabled. Yeah, be careful in those large areas of LOS when um, you have people coming. That gets real dangerous real fast. But this ult was good. The best part is they don't have any sort of defensive ult to stop you. Wolverine somehow jumped off to the edge. Spider-Man got a kill. It was a good E, like hearing Spider-Man go in and ult and you followed up on that. Oh, I saw the vision. You were going to go for the health pack and you got stuck. There's not much to say there. Your Spider-Man and Venom were committing and uh, they were getting kills. Your E in there with Spider-Man helped secure a kill. And the only reason you died, I think, is because you got stuck on the pillar. You could have maybe possibly seen like the damage coming in sooner, but and rotated out. But even I wasn't fully paying attention to that. So get some distance. Yep. Oh, good job. That is really good right there. Like, that's the kind of thing I would really like to see because you recognize the danger. You recognize that you weren't going to win that fight and you got out before you died with just like the sliver of health, which means you pulled resources out and you lived. Starts getting a lot of free value. Didn't get the res station, unfortunately. Maybe you did. You're gonna get out of there. Get ready for the flank ult. Oh no. Good target prioritization. One support to the other. Really well done. Nice. Your team let it cap. No, your team let him cap. Okay, what you did right there was exactly what you should do. Like, it was not your job to be on the point. With you ulting, it was your job to focus on securing the kills, and you did that. You got one support, you got the next support, you went to finish everyone off, and there was nobody there standing on the point. Spider-Man was alive. He had the mobility. He should have focused on doing that. But That's just unfortunate. Teams do that, especially in Diamond. Oh, this is good. Taking the fight with your team is good. Staying alive. Good cover. Nice. E inside. I gotta say, like, your target prioritization in game is fantastic. Like, what you're doing is everything that I would personally be doing in terms of like who I'd be changing targets to for the most part. Like, you know to target the people who are out of position rather than just like, oh, I'm just gonna go for the backline every time. He's gonna get your team. Watch out. Nice, good dodge. I'd get out of there though. Back. Ooh, ballsy. Okay, yeah, I saw what you wanted to do, and the problem is that you get your ult and you want to make a play, but you already had two of your teammates down, and you were missing half of your health. One of the things that I have learned from my small amount of time playing Starlord and VOD reviewing Starlord is that you really don't want to ult in the open because of the fact that this wind up time right here gives them an opportunity to aim at you and start shooting before you can even get damage off. And now you have one, two, three, four, five people and a damage boost looking at you. Well, thing can't do anything, but still. And another thing you need to know is that understanding your matchups, like I know Scarlet Witch isn't played very often, but Scarlet Witch is like a hard counter to Starlord. Like she can mark a Starlord and just shut him down. She doesn't even need to get kills. She just needs to stop you from doing anything. So be very, very mindful of having health and playing around Scarlet Witch as Starlord. Because now you lose your ult and you don't have it when it could have just been like a regroup time for your team and uh, possibly holding them. I saw the vision, but this could have just been like a, you know, figuring out that Scarlet Witch just absolutely dunks on Starlord. Which I've seen a lot of videos and stuff of people being like, "Oh, Scarlet Witch, now that, like, Namor is always banned and there's all this other stuff going on, like, is Scarlet Witch secretly OP?" It's like, she always has been. Like, people have been, like, absolutely sleeping on that character because she is one of the best people at marking in this game, and she can just shut down all the high skill heroes just by literally not letting them play.
That is not that vehicle! Co-op time!
Good. Being the ult. Good damage. You gotta stay safe. A little unsure who to shoot. Getting behind cover. That was a little bit of wasted movement. Like right now, the fight's happening. Nothing's going on. Nothing was made of that cloak out, which is unfortunate. There was some just downtime. Here we ult, so we want to try and make use of that ult, which like this is good. But then just get back in the ult and just start shooting. Getting out was good, but then like immediately turning back, I would have immediately turned back around and started shooting from around the corner, seeing if there's anybody low or I could pressure anyone. Because right there, it's a nitpicky thing, but there's a few seconds that you went all the way around and lost time, shooting or applying pressure. Yep, just shoot, build your ult. Good kill. Nice. I saw you try to right click the Wolverine ult. Right idea, just didn't get the execution down, which is fine. Like, I am always for people testing out what they should be doing and failing because of the fact that you're like, okay, like I need to wait a second next time before I right click. Because I want people to think about this too as like a think about it in a similar sense that you would a single player game, right? In a single player game, you're like, oh, I have a an ability that if I perfect guard or if I uh, perfect dodge, then I am immortal or something, and it doesn't hit me when I'm fighting this boss. Like it's the same concept, but the thing is, in like a single player game, you're not afraid to lose because you just hit continue and there's no loss there. But there's so much pressure people put on themselves in PvP competitive games that they just don't try things, right? But if you try those things, you'll eventually get better at them. And the better you get at them, the more likely you are to do them consistently over time. So if you lose games trying to right click certain ultimates or certain abilities, it's fine. Eventually, over time, you'll adjust and you'll get the timing down, and then it'll become second nature, and then it'll just happen in your games. It's like practicing drills for sports or whatever. Like if you're too afraid to take risks, then you're too afraid to learn. So don't be afraid to take risks and lose in game because it's not about that one individual game. It's about how you improve over time. Get your ult. There you go. Get health. Get health. Get health. I personally would have just turned on the Magneto there, but like you still got a kill out of it. Like when you right after you ulted, I mean, like right after you ulted and like Rocket sort of got out and into the mist, like Magneto was kind of there. You could have gotten like a free pick on him too. Like it all worked out. Great idea. Magneto, get the Magneto. Okay, okay, works.
The current score is 0-2. 30 seconds before you attack. Get ready. The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Overall, the two things that I'll say that I've noticed from you is not your positioning your game sense. It's just literally your mechanical aim. And there's just a couple of times where you need to basically never stop shooting. Like there's downtime when like fights are going on where it's just like you could be building your ult a little bit faster. You could be applying a little bit more pressure. And what we're talking about here is coming down to like the seconds, right? Like this is where as you rank up, you need to be active more and more and more and more because of the fact that every second counts. Like you need to be constantly outputting damage, outputting pressure, and doing something. And if you're not, then it's the only reason you shouldn't be is if your team is regrouping. But if you can, poke for damage or poke for alt charge, you should definitely be doing that. So there's only a few times like that where it's just like, okay, never stop holding left click essentially. Like find your target and even if it's a tank or something, you can shoot a tank, just shoot the tank for now. Like shoot the tank until you can find a better target. Then when you see a better target, then adjust. But otherwise, like never stop applying
All you
pressure.
have to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
This can work. Break the window, break the window. You're good. What I don't like about this is that you have Starlord, which has great mobility, and there's a health pack up in this room. Um, I personally would have like the moment my team started to push out there, I would have taken this aggressive angle up here, and I would have been hugging this corner where the health pack was, just so I could shoot down from above. And that way, if any of my team who is less mobile comes through this room, they have an angle here, and my other team is coming from this way, they have another angle there. Um, because otherwise, the tank is going to push back both you and Cloak and Dagger, and he's going to push both of you at the same time. Whereas if you were up there, you could have been having your own angle. Because now Doctor Strange can shoot at both of you at the same time. Yep, apply pressure. Even if it's a shield, I don't care. Like, that's good, that's good, that's good. Nice. He stepped out of place. He's a tank. It doesn't matter. Like, The moment he overstepped too far and Cloak landed the blind on him, which is a damage amplification, like good use of your E and stuff there. But now, just too much pressure up here. I immediately want to go come up here for safety and for a different angle because like right now you're just shooting the tanks and shooting the shield. Unfortunately, Rocket had a res. I don't know if you're specifically waiting for Cloak's E when you do your E, but that's 2 times in a row you've done it, which is really well done. Like if you're timing that, that's fantastic. Good, 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 good. Nice. Does Jeff the Shark things. Turning around to see the opening, I think, because yeah. Body blocking, maybe? Nice. Good hold. Good dodge. Was that Scarlet Witch on the backside of this stuff? Yeah, that's fine. That wasn't yours, was it? Oh my god, it was. She's gonna do damage though. In her ult, so give her props for that. Nice. She did get the kill. I gotta say, I don't expect supports ever to do that, but like, yes, what you should do after you cloak and dagger ult is immediately go into your cloak form and just start just hit your E on someone and just start trying to damage and kill someone. And she did that. So even though their cloak and dagger ulted with nobody else alive, she got a pick out of it. So that gives your team the advantage because you're much closer to the payload. Ooh. The moment you hear it's clobbering time, you might be able to right click and like get your iframes. I don't know. I've been there. Stuff like that happens. One of my biggest pet peeves is totally off topic, but one of my biggest pet peeves is when they're just like, "Oh, if you're so high rank, like why would you do something stupid and jump off the ledge?" It's just like, dude, mistakes happen. Like it's a game, we're all human. Like you can't judge someone for stuff like that because the fact that everyone at some point is going to sometimes just do that. Here you go, get into position. It's not bad. I like the idea, but I think that like the one downside I'll say right here, even if I don't like I know you're planning to all even if you're only missing a little bit, just grab the health back just in case. And right now, you go to alt and you lose a lot of wasted time this way. Whereas I think if you would have just taken the time instead to wait it out, you'll have noticed they didn't even start really contesting just yet. So like I want everyone to pay attention to up here, right? They're not the payload is still pushing. They haven't contested it yet, and now we ult. Save your ult for the moment that they start to contest, and now they're pincered. Now they either have to give up space while the payload is moving, and let the payload move again, or they have to like stay and fight and go up against your ult, right? But like here in this instance, like the payload is still moving, and you could have given it another second or two and gotten into a position where you could have seen the supports better, or you could have walked all the way around and like gone from the backside. Like take your time. Don't rush these things and just see like, you know what? Like if I ult from up here, I'm not going to have LOS. This thing's going to be in the way. But if I ult from back here, Jeff is free. Then they're all going to have to back up to where now they're pincered between the payload and they're pincered between me. Because now they start contesting it. And here's the thing, it was just like, you got the ult on the Jeff, which is good. But yeah, they're contesting the payload. And a Starlord ult is really strong, so you definitely want to try and get as many targets as you can in that, especially with the help of like your team. Like when you know that they're going to contest this point, and you can Starlord ult right above their heads, and just you got your team pushing this way, and you're ulting from this way, they're screwed. Like even if Jeff is back there, I don't think he's got enough heals to output to save everyone. I don't know if you're timing your E specifically, like, with Cloak and Dagger E or with your Spider-Man's ult, but, like, you're doing really well at, like, timing your abilities with follow-up. Like, Jeff is just a heal bot, and they were saying, I think, in the bubbles, that's the reason why they stayed alive. But otherwise, like, okay, this right here, though, immediately, like, as this is pushing forward, I kinda wanna be over here instead, because now this is once again, you don't wanna stand all together clumped up in a group like this, especially when you have, like, the Thing and Strange. Like, 1 E from Strange is powered up and, like, everybody's dead. I okay, I just have to know. Did Invisible Woman have that ult? She has it. Okay, so she had it, she hit it late, and then Cloak and Dagger wasn't in it, unfortunately. Supports out there. If you're ever worried and you're about to cap the point, just hit your ults early. Just like it doesn't matter. Just hit your ults early. It's better to use it and secure the point than it is to wait and then figure out you should have used it. Like you build them fast. Just go for it. Especially the moment you see them all. But yeah, standing near your team just builds up a lot of like damage. Like right here now, turn, shoot. You can shoot, 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 shoot. Build your ult. There you go. Okay, you're fine. You have supports here. Shoot, shoot, shoot. You're close to ult. Build it back up. Yep. I don't know why your Hawkeye ulted there. There you go. Ult from up top. I think he just tried to Eye of Agamotto, which credit. Kudos. Good target prioritization. There you go. That dodge on the clobber in time was that is exactly what I like to see. You get hit by it once, and then later in the game, you're like, no, 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 I'm gonna right click that the next time you do it. That is adapting, that is learning, that is what I want to see people do. Up, 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 up. Oh, kudos. You're staying alive. Um, you have vertical mobility. Go up top and shoot. Your range is actually not that bad on Starlord either. Like I feel like you can shoot safer from positions up here or up here even. I kind of like this one myself here in this situation. Because then you could still be within LOS. You have lots of cover. There's no one that can really go for you other than like maybe Scarlet Witch, but she's dead here. Wolverine can't get up there easily. Doctor Strange would have to use his mobility and leave the payload. Like I personally want to get up to a uh highly protected spot and an up high ground spot, because then you create that pincer angle. Because otherwise, like you're gonna struggle with your team all sort of like uh, brawling in this area together. Like Starlord has a lot of mobility, and I've learned that it is highly effective to abuse that. Let that run out. Good job.
Double KO. That's three.
Good job. That was nice.
Vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
No comments on that one. Oh, someone doesn't like you. Pulling attention. This is fine. Like, as long as you live. That was like tanking without being a tank. You pulled a bunch of attention, you pulled a bunch of resources, and you stayed alive. Like, yeah, your team died, but they kind of died to like Wolverine's ult and stuff. Like, you wasted time while the cart was pushing forward, and now you're in a safe spot. There you go. Let your team heal you up. Woo. Once again, like immediately recognize these positions where your team is walking up one way and be like, I want to go over here, right? I want to go over here and I want to start shooting here. Every single time they move one way, you move another. You have hyper mobility. Abuse it. Unless, of course, cloak ults and then stand in the ult and then just do your thing. Yeah. Nice. Man, ballsy. And still, you make it difficult on your invisible woman who wants to heal you so bad.
Us against the world.
You saw Cloak's ult was still on the ground. Hold that E. Because now you wish you had it. No, there you go. At least it came back up.
You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner. Double KO.
Always time your ability to save your resources, people. When you see an invisible woman ult or a cloak and dagger ult or something which you know you can't burst through, use your resources to survive, but don't use your resources to do damage unless you're specifically trying to charge your ult so you can use it right afterwards. But otherwise, just save your resources, and then the moment that those stupid like you can't kill anything ults wear off, then then use your resources. Stuff dies a lot quicker. Pressure the crap out of him. Dong dong. Once again, you are in a location where you're all grouped up, which is really good for Wolverine. Makes it easier for him to hit. Makes it easier for the thing to hit. Like, there's lots of different angles that are more risky, like moving up or taking more aggressive angles or trying to go around. But like, even if you wanted to shoot and pressure the people on point, I feel like you might be able to go over here and stand behind this pillar and then shoot from back here, which is like away from your team. The more you create those like pincery sort of angles as a DPS, the sort of safer you are because Wolverine can't look two directions at once. Here, if he goes for you and it doesn't work out, he can always move to the thing or he can move to Squirrel Girl. Like there's a lot of options for him. Don't give him those options. Stand someplace away for your team and just provide pressure. Yep. Because of the fact that Scarlet Witch like hard counters Starlord in a way, like targeting her first and making sure she dies is actually I think a really good idea. Especially because he knew that she probably had ult because of the fact that it's been a while since we saw it. Not that Scarlet Witch out is all that great, but still, it's an alt. Better have him dead.
Anyone willing to help?
Oh, Jeff things. They did the portal trick.
Final score 2-3.
Did they got off?
Another epic victory. Big win.
I don't even know what happened there. Oh yeah, they did win. When I spectate somebody else, it says victory no matter. Okay. Yeah, your team definitely struggled there. I will say that like your your team probably should have been able to win that game just because of the fact that like there were a lot of openings and they were just like dying awfully quick, awfully, off a cooldown. And I think for like, this is one of those examples where for your skill level, you were definitely doing better than your teammates and even people on the enemy team. Your target prioritization is fantastic. Um, you not being afraid to take risks and take angles at times has been really good. Your um, your alt timings have been great. Your being able to right click and dodge certain damage because you know it's incoming was really, really well done. Like the only thing that I can see that could have made this game a little bit easier for you was just being able to secure those kills through your mechanical aim, getting a little bit better. And like I said, there's things outside of just like practicing the game and can help with that. And I don't subscribe to the idea of like doing like aim trainers and stuff. Like maybe it helps for some people. I don't know. Like I think you can just play the game and do it. But the other things I mentioned, like mouse pad stuff, mouse feet, like adjusting your sensitivity, like try, see if there's anything there first. Like because if your hardware or your specific setup is holding you back, it doesn't matter how much you practice. Um, and I know people are just gonna be like, well, it's not the mouse, it's the player. Just like, dude, sometimes legitimately you do need to have like good desk space. You need to have a good mouse pad. Like, stuff that just makes your life easier. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to be functional. But yeah, and the only other thing is not being afraid to use that vertical mobility of yours to take those specific angles, right? Like if your team is all pushing one way and you have, jet boots, try to get to high ground advantage to where like you can cross gaps and you can be up over here shooting, right? And you can use that mobility to get around really quickly. And if the enemy team pushes you out, you'll hopefully be more hypermobile than them and you can rotate to different sides. Just constantly be like rotating around, being a pest, right? Play around those health packs, but then you can also play around your supports. Like, try to find those different angles. Cause like what I'll do sometimes is like if my team is pushing this way with the payload, as soon as they start to contest and I see that like, okay, like my team is going up around here and this is where the payload goes in and here's the gates, right? As soon as like they start to contest, I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to try and use my vertical mobility to get up here. I'm going to use my vertical mobility to get across and now like I'm shooting at them from multiple angles and I'm just being this massive annoyance as I rotate around into areas that they can't get. Part of winning in games as a DPS is not being afraid to take those risks because uh truth is that, especially like as you climb, those risks get riskier and riskier because people will be able to punish you for them. But those risks also make the games much more likely to be won because of the fact that you are taking an aggressive angle. And when you start to take over their space, um, you you start to push them back. Like even though you're in dangerous territory, like you're taking space away from them, and that makes it harder for them to stay out into certain areas, and they get pushed back. So always be trying to think to yourself whenever like you're taking a bunch of damage or whenever you're with your team, be like, where can I go that isn't right here? Right? Like, especially if you have verticality. Starlord is one of the few people that has easy verticality. Um, and he can definitely abuse that. So you can always like look around. There's no place that isn't an option for you, and high ground is always fantastic. High ground with cover is just a great place to be. Uh, so yeah, those are the only critiques I have overall. Like I said, your target prioritization is really, really good. Uh, I don't think that I don't think I really have too much to say on that one. Like, um, yeah, the oh yeah, the only other thing was like the downtime, making sure that you're just always shooting, just shoot, 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 shoot. Whether you're breaking shields or whether you're charging your ult or pushing the tank back, like yeah, you don't want to do trash damage, but sometimes you just need to apply pressure to get them back. Like, just always be shooting, no matter what. Like, and if your team is fighting, you should be fighting too. Like, as soon as your team engages, you want to be engaged immediately afterwards to make sure that they're not getting pressured out too quickly. But yeah, overall, like really solid game all around. Like, I think that I was rather impressed by your Starlord here. But yeah, make those couple adjustments and yeah, let me know how it goes because I easily see you shooting from diamond up to GM with with a couple of changes. Because the target prioritization and staying alive, like those are normally things that are hard for people, and you had it down really well here. So I was very impressed by this one. Unfortunate loss, but like I said, you can't win every game. So yeah, make those changes and let me know how it goes. But otherwise, yeah, great game. Thanks for submitting this one.